When on the hunt for illicit North Korean goods, it's best to head to northeast China. Driving along the North Korean border, we head for Hunchun, a city known for buying and selling North Korean seafood. There, we quickly found a street filled with seafood markets, recording on our cell phones to avoid being spotted by the Chinese police. In just the second store we tried, we saw this.
And this is North Korean crab?
Yeah.
The shop owner said she got a fresh shipment of North Korean crab in just the night before.
These were smuggled from North Korea.
2 doors down, more crab, still illegal.
Those big hairy crabs are from North Korea. We got smuggled in them a few days ago.
Smuggled in because a few weeks ago, 7,000 miles away, the UN Security Council passed new sanctions on North Korea that included a total ban on seafood exports. They're worth hundreds of millions of dollars to the regime. China was the biggest buyer, but that was supposed to stop 2 months ago, and to a large extent, it did. Processing centers here closed down. People lost their jobs. But clearly, it hasn't stopped completely. One woman even told us how the crab is being smuggled in.
People bag them up and float them across the river at the border. We are not worried about it.
So part of the reason that smuggling can happen is because most of the land border between China and North Korea looks like this. It's pretty open. Right on the other side of that river right there, that's North Korea. You can see it probably wouldn't be that difficult to get across. CNN can't determine how much crab is still being sold, the scale of it all. The Chinese government would not comment for this story, but consistently say that they enforce all sanctions. But the Trump administration says Beijing is not doing enough. They want tougher sanctions. And here, a bit further south along the border, the city of Dandong is the perfect place to see how China props up the regime economically and against U.S. wishes. This is all legal. Trucks loaded down with goods, everything from food to solar panels, rumble across the Yalu River into North Korea each day. Total Chinese exports to North Korea are up around 30% this year. North Korean laborers work in Chinese factories and send their wages back to the regime. And then there's this, a particular sticking point for the U.S. and a place the Chinese government does not want journalists to film. These huge oil tanks storing the fuel that is sent across the border each day. This facility right here is really the embodiment of the disagreement between Beijing and Washington. The Trump administration does not want oil running through its pipelines to North Korea, but so far, Beijing is not willing to totally do that. China has only agreed to limit oil exports in line with current UN sanctions. Beijing fears that an oil embargo could help cause the regime to collapse and lead to a surge of refugees over its border. In the meantime, back in Hunchun, UN mandates feel pretty far away. You can book a table at a local restaurant and pick out your very own North Korean crab. Clear sanctions violations, served up hot and fresh. Matt Rivers, CNN, Hunchun, China.